Hello all, my name is Kardia, and if you heard part 1 and part 2, right now you'll know what this story is all about. If you haven't heard of them, the links are on the description down below. But before we get started, I wanted to thank you all for your support of our sponsor for this story time, bizbin.com. Bizbin is a community auction house and marketplace where you could find amazing bargains and great deals on everyday items and handcrafted goods from incredible artists. If you have items to sell, go ahead, go to Bizbin, open up a store. You don't have to be a business owner. You just have to have items to sell. Come support the company that cares more about the community and its members. Bizbin has made the conscious decision to charge its members the bare minimum so small business communities could thrive in this growing e-commerce world. You will only be charged a very small percentage of the final sold value of your item after it sells. You can list and sell as many items as you want. There's no limit, and you could do that in your own store. There are no hidden fees ever, so you'll always know exactly how much goes in your pocket. No guessing games. I already have a store, so I guess I'll see you guys there. So now without further interruptions, let's get back into part 3 of this very, very spooky story. I'm alive. I'm still not sure if this is all over, but it feels like it is. I mean, nothing's ever truly finished in this town, but for now, at least, feels like it will be okay. Let me go back to where I left off. I have time now, all of the time in the world, it seems, but it's been 2 days since I last updated, and my world changed a couple of times. Let me start with Audrey. Whatever was independent that Casey gave me, it not only knocked her out, but it seemed to knock something off from her, inside of her, because she woke up in the car and seemed scared. Auntie Rose? I knew she'd be waking up for a few minutes, and was ready for her to talk, but the sound of my name coming from the innocent voice next to me made me jump. And may the gods forgive me, I tightened my grip on the screwdriver I had tucked away in my side. What happened to me? What do you mean, sweetheart? I kept my voice level in case this was a trick. I hadn't taken into consideration that we are now in a moving vehicle, and it was easier to kill me and make it look like an accident. The man from the attic, he's gone, she said. I didn't say a word and just let it go. He used to hurt me, tell me to do bad things. Sometimes I'd wake up and not remember where I'd been. I was so scared, but now he's gone. Audrey started sobbing. At first she was afraid, and then she was sobbing with relief. I didn't know what to do, so I kept driving. Let her cry herself out. Pulled over into a parking lot in the local grocery store and waited for Audrey to speak again. Aunt Rose, I'm so sorry if I did anything to you, she said, her small face both horrified and relieved. I didn't mean it. You said I had to pick you. I didn't have choice. I love you. You're my auntie. I just don't understand what happened to me. I need help. Like a psychologist? I asked her quietly. Mommy says psychologists are for losers. That didn't sound right. Casey told me that Audrey had been seeing a psychologist for months. She took me once, but I never got to go back. I'm sorry. And then, just like that, the light in Audrey's eyes, the light that had been there when she was born, came back. I can't explain it. I just felt like Audrey was okay now. Yeah, she tried to kill me 3 times, but as I would later find out, it wasn't because she wanted or that she remembered. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So I took a chance and told Audrey that we were going to see some friends of mine that may be able to help her. She looked scared, but she agreed. Then she asked, Mommy won't be there, right? No, honey. She's, gone to do something else, I said. Do you want Mommy to be there? No, Mommy mean all the time. I don't like being around her. Audrey wouldn't say any more, so I pulled back onto the road and went into Vera and Blake's house. Vera and Blake are practicing occultists. Think of them as the character John Constantine from those Vertigo books. They are forever getting into things that have nothing to do with them, opening portals, taking cursed objects, and everything. They've been like this since we were in high school. I told Audrey there was nothing to be afraid of when she showed up, and she trusted me. Holding the stuffed little wolf that I'd given to her as a present a year ago, she walked up to Vera, who had her hand extended, and she shook it. Then she smiled wide and gave her a big hug. You can help me? Audrey said. She looked up at Vera. You both can help me? We're going to try really hard, Vera said. Between her and Blake, she was always the one who was better with kids. She was also never one to promise anything, even things that she could deliver on. Vera and Blake took Audrey into the house and spoke to her in the living room. Blake took me aside and asked me not to be in the room for this, for both Audrey's sake and my own. I stayed in the kitchen. Half an hour later, Blake came back inside the kitchen. I had heard some weird things coming from the living room, and the house had rocked a couple of times, but I had managed to stay calm. "Well, I have good news and bad news," he said, as he moved into the cupboards, looking for a snack for Audrey. "Tell me." "The good news is that Audrey's completely 100% fine. She's not homicidal," he said as Vera walked into the room, carrying Audrey's denim jacket. I saw the blood on it, and Blake noticed my shocked face. "It's just a nosebleed." "Oh?" I was confused, but I knew they wouldn't leave me hanging, so I tried to wait. Spoiler alert, I couldn't wait. "But she was over my head with gasoline. I saw her," I said. "We don't doubt that this happened, darling," Vera said in a calm voice. "Audrey says she doesn't remember anything, but hypnosis proves she did. But you say she did. Is she possessed?" "She was," Blake said, finding animal crackers in the pantry, his back to me. "Well, not possessed," Vera corrected him. "It's more like a transfer." My head was starting to hurt from the lack of sleep and everything that happened in the last few days. "Just spit it out," I said, sighing. "Audrey's possession was done through transfer," Blake said, as Vera picked up the juice and cookies, taking it into the other room. "Because this type of behavior didn't start until she was around 10, well, Audrey said she's never seen the man from the attic until after her 10th birthday. You know where this is going, right?" Blake took a moment to let me absorb the horror of the truth. "Cassie was a Mark I, Rose," he said quietly. "Through hypnosis, Audrey remembers her mother transferring it to her with some sort of ritual. It's Cassie, sweetheart." My heart sank, and my body followed. I didn't realize I was on the kitchen floor until I felt the cool tile underneath my hands. Blake knelt down next to me. "I'm guessing Cassie's been marked since birth. All that stuff at the manor, she was causing it. All those times you nearly died, it was Cassie. You two are twins. You're not identical, but you share enough of the same DNA. Killing you would be the best way to complete the possession." Blake sighed. I know this was hard for him because before he began dating Vera, he was with Cassie for about a year. "You survived, and she probably doesn't know how, but she knows you well enough to know that you would be less inclined to do anything if it were Audrey. She knows how much you love kids." "What about the pendant that she gave me? What was that for?" "Best guess? Audrey was supposed to get a hold of it, but you used it before she had a chance. How did you know what it was?" "I didn't." "Eric knew," I said, sighing and looking down at my hands. "Eric? Eric Cabot?" Vera asked, moving back into the room. She was staring at me, surprised. "He knew?" "Yeah, he called yesterday. I told him the whole story, and to my surprise they looked relieved." "What?" "If Eric's involved, he must have figured out what was going on," Vera said. She saw the confused look on my face, and she elaborated. "Eric is one of the best healers in town." "Eric is Audrey's father," I said. They both looked surprised. "Yeah, he told me last night." "What, you didn't know?" They both shook their heads. Then Vera started laughing. "Oh, this is the best thing that could have happened to you," she said, after she managed to stop laughing. "Okay, look, did Eric tell you anything?" "To meet him at the city square at 7. "Okay, go meet him. Leave Audrey here. We got the room set up for her. It's protected. No one will be able to find her here," Vera said, pointing upstairs. "We'll all be fine. We'll be here when you get back." "Don't worry, Rose," Blake said, his hand on my shoulder. "Cassie can't get to her because she can't send the man to her. He can't come to these grounds. It's not permitted. They can't walk where the bones meet. I haven't heard that phrase since I was a kid. Even then, I didn't believe it was real. In our town, the phrase means bone magic, an old tradition that utilizes mostly animal bones, human if you're into necromancy, in order to create a result. The young ones, including myself, never mess with the magic, but the older residents do. Casting a bone circle on your property will protect your home from forces that already reside within the borders. It also makes you invisible to the marked ones, as long as you stay within the borders. But this time, I'm starting to believe that the stories of this town are true, so I agreed to leave Audrey with Vera and Blake. I spend the next few hours playing with Audrey, cooking her some real food. Mommy never cooks anymore. It's always mac and cheese. And then putting her to bed. Auntie Rose. I was tucking her into this beautiful little room in the center of the house, close to the makeshift office library studio space on the second floor, with the night sky painted on the ceiling and strange blinking lights illuminated the room. I could tell that the magic in this town was once known had come back to life. I just didn't know which side of the magic would win this time around. Yes, sweetheart? I'm sorry Mommy's trying to hurt you. I was quiet for a moment and I looked at my niece. You're a really good person. Sometimes I wish you were my mommy. You would be nicer to me. Go to sleep, is the only thing I can think to say. But I leant down, gave her a kiss on the forehead, and told her everything will be all right. You'll see, no matter what happens, everything will be all right. We're all going to make sure that you're okay. Promise? I promise. I have more to write, but I'm still drained from the last 2 days. I'm going to write the last update for you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, some of you will be able to learn from my story. Well, guys, that was part 3 of Pretty Sure My Niece Was Trying to Kill Me. I'm really enjoying this series so far. The fourth part is probably going to be out soon. I'm going to go ahead and record that for you guys and post it onto here as soon as I can record it. I really enjoy our story time together, you guys. Hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and I'll see you next time.